few minutes before the start of the ball game between the White Sox and the Cleveland Indians, and singing the national anthem tonight will be the Ides of March. And here's one of the Ides members from Berwyn, Illinois, Chuck Somar. Chuck, nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Jim. It's great to be here.
You're going to be doing your reunion concert at the Berwyn Summerfaire July 28th, right?
That's right.
Greg, one last question. Where are you going after the game tonight?
I don't know. I think I might take it easy and run on down to the Berwyn Summerfaire.
All right. One more question, one final question. Where are you going after the game tonight?
Tonight I'm going to the Berwyn Summerfest.
Okay. Ron, one more final question before you go into your hitters meeting. Where are you going after the game tonight?
I'm going to Berwyn Summerfaire.
All right.
Come out and see us.
Fantastic. Let me ask you a final question here. Where are you going after the game tonight?
Berwyn Summerfaire.
All right. You're the fifth one.
Thank you. You still feeling all right out there? I hear you say, woo! We want to thank you for putting us in the driver's seat today. We hope you had a good ride, and this is the vehicle that got us here today.
Hello out there, and welcome to the 5 days of the festival. I'm Jim Capsa, and these handsome young men sitting next to me are the Ides of March, who starred in 5 days of the festival in 1990 in Berwyn, Illinois. Let me get right to introducing the lead songwriter and the lead singer, Jim Peterick. I see you got your mask on.
Yeah, I can't talk with that on. Yeah. Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I want the audience to know that they're all wearing their masks because there's something called a pandemic. And, well, we're not going to talk anymore about that because it's almost over. Let's put it that way. And the Ides of March were part of the 5 days of the festival that took place on the grounds of Morton West High School in Berwyn. And we are sitting in the permanent grandstands of Morton West High School. I remember playing all my football games right here and my baseball games right down there. And that was way back in, and I'm not going to tell you when it was. All right, let's introduce the rest of the guys. Right in back of Jim Peterick is Bob Berglund, who's I guess you're the business manager too, right?
Yeah, I handle most of the business affairs and the bass player and play saxophone with the band too.
You play it very well, may I add that. Next to him is Larry Millis. Larry, how are you?
I'm good. We're happy to be here.
I remember in 1990 when you fellas had some songs on the top 10 charts, you also had a song with the Imperials, which went to #1, I think, in 1990.
That's correct. I was down in Nashville with a good friend of mine, Butch Stewart, and he produced the album, and that was happening. Yeah.
Well, next to Larry is Scott May. Scott, I need you to bend over a little bit here. Otherwise I'm going to break my back. How are you, Scott?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
You were one. I'm good, thank you. Knock on wood. You were one of the fellows that the Ides of March added. These four guys right here, and I'm going to get to Mike in a second, but they're the original members of the Ides of March. And I'm going to get, when I get back to Larry Millis, as I understand it, the band was formed in Larry's lower level, right? Not too far from the high school here. But getting back to Scott May, you were one of the newer members, but you're not new.
Well, yeah, I've been with the band. My first show with the band was right here. And I was like, they never had a full-time keyboard player. And they said, well, we need a guy from Morton. Although I'm from East. But I've known the guys forever, and they were and still are heroes of mine. And when they asked me to join the band, they said, let me think about it. Okay.
You didn't have to think about it very long.
No, sir.
And the guy in back of me here, let me move back, is Mike Borch, with the original drummer, right?
Yes, sir.
And tell us a little bit about when you and Larry and Jim and Bob started the band back in 1964, right?
Yeah, well, actually, I am. There was a Pete Best who was an original drummer with the band before they were the Ides, and he left the band. And I was driving by Jim's bungalow in Berwyn on Oak Park Avenue, and we had some conversation. And he said, "Hey, we need to audition a drummer. Are you around?" And I said, "Hey, I'm there." So I knew the drum beat to "Game of Love" and "Land of a Thousand Dances," and that was my big deal.
That was enough for us. What's
That
the
was
same
it.
drum beat for both songs?
Well, did you ever think it would last this long and still lasting into the future here?
Nobody thought it would last this long. This is beyond our fantasies come true. To be able to play for 55 years together and be friends all this time, it's just it's unreal. It's nothing's ever been like this.
Well, getting back to Mr. Peterick here, some of you out there in the viewing audience may remember a song called Vehicle, which went to #1 for this group, the Ides of March. And there's another very well-known song, which was in a film called Rocky III, and it's called Eye of the Tiger, and this is the guy that co-wrote it, right?
Correct, Jim. 1982, when Sylvester Stallone left an answering machine message on my machine, he goes, "Hey, yo, Jim, give me a call. Give me a call. It's Sylvester Stallone." Well, I thought someone was putting me on. I thought it was Jim Capsa punking me, but it turned out it was really him, and I had the opportunity of co-writing this song for Rocky III, and it's still around in the year 2020. It's pretty amazing.
You know, I've told that story probably a couple hundred times, and nobody will believe me that you actually hung up on Sylvester Stallone. He hung up on Rocky.
It happens.
Well, give us a little bit more about all of the songs that you're very famous for, and you guys all love these songs very much.
Well, the Ides have such a great show, and because we roll in all the songs that I had the pleasure of writing with not only the Ides of March, but also Survivor, Sammy Hagar 38 Special. And we always add the Ides of March style, the brass and the harmonies. And so Hold On Loosely, the big hit by 38 Special, kind of becomes an Ides song, actually. And the whole set is hit, 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 and then we'll premiere something new because we're always evolving. New album called Play On, as you know. So we're always moving forward.
Hey, maybe we get Bob Berglund involved here. Bob, when you and I spoke on the phone last week, you were telling me that you fellas had a lot of gigs planned for this time of the year. Tell us about what happened.
Well, with the pandemic, everything changed in March. Beware the Ides of March, as they say. We had 9 gigs. We had an East Coast tour scheduled, and after we played at the City Winery Chicago on March 4th, everything else that month got canceled, and all we're doing now is rescheduling till late this year or 2020. Many of the gigs pushed out to 2021. We've been privileged enough to play on 3 cruises. Thank goodness we were not out on a cruise in March this year, but we'll be going back out on a cruise next year. And we're so happy after 55 years that people enjoy our music and come to see us. And as you asked Mike before, could you ever imagine it? Absolutely not. We just lived day to day when we were in high school, but now we look forward to getting together, practicing gigs, whatever we do, we have a blast.
Well, I can't believe the story. I really can't, and I think our viewing audience is going to be amazed when they actually know that they're going to be able to see you guys perform again. And Jim, I'm sure you've got other gigs lined up once this pandemic passes, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Ides of March is really my main thing. But I also have Jim Peterick and World Stage, which is a superstar event. The Ides of March are always a part of that, too. But we bring in stars from all over the world. And Berwyn.
Well, you record a lot of things in your own recording studio, do you not?
Yeah, Larry Millis, who you might see back there, he convinced me when I built my new house in 88, take that equipment you're leasing to my studio downtown, bring it home, and I asked Karen, and suddenly our workout room became a studio. And we never regretted it. That studio has been working every day since 1990.
So now people know how to get a hold of you if they want to record in your studio, right?
Absolutely. And my son has the Jam Lab in Brookfield, another great studio space, much larger than my home studio. But it's actually a commercial studio as opposed to a home studio that I mainly use for my own benefits.
Larry, are you still involved with your own studio as well?
Well, the downtown business that I had going was called River North, and that closed down in the 90s, and I kind of put my focus into Jim's work and Jim's home studio. I'm there 6 days a week. He wakes up every day with a new song. I mean, it's crazy. We're talking about the people that he's written with, and so he continues to do that. I mean, it's been going on for decades. This last week, he finished a thing with Robert Lamb of Chicago, and it's up on the internet, and people are freaking out over it. Chicago meets Jim Peterick and his Ides vibe. Very cool. Jim also, over the last year, has co-written a number of songs, co-produced and played on the new Dennis DeYoung record, which is breaking and getting all kinds of critical acclaim. So there's lots of stuff. I mean, the studio's been going nuts. It's really fun.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that. And Jim, I have to ask you, people ask me all the time, they know that you and I are friends. They say, does he really have purple hair? I said, well, I think so. I haven't seen him in a while, but I think so. Tell the folks all about your purple hair.
Well, the story that Dennis DeYoung tells when he does an interview and the interviewer mentions Jim Peterick, he says that when I was born, I had purple hair, and my mother kept dyeing it brown. And finally, 10 years ago, I just let it grow out.
I don't know if I believe that 100% or not, but I'll believe it. The Ides believe it, yeah. Well, we mentioned and we sort of glossed over the fact that we're doing this interview for the 30-year anniversary of Berwyn Summerfaire 1990, which was one of the most successful events of the summer in the entire Midwest, not just in the Chicago area. And we're actually sitting in almost the same spot as we did the interview in 1990. And Jim, I have to mention one more thing. I happen to be 100% Czech, and I think you have Czech roots as well, right?
Yes, underneath the purple hair, I have Czech roots. But yes, I'm 100% Czech, and my grandfather was born near Prague, Český Krumlov, that area there. And my wife and I visited Prague not too long ago. We did a bike ride from Vienna to Prague. We actually saw a bakery called Peterick.
Really?
Yeah, and I took a picture of it. And
who? Can you give a copy to Vesečkis?
Oh yeah, yeah. If they'll give us some kolachkis.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I have to add this in. One of the things in Berwyn Summerfaire 1990 was we got a place in the Guinness Book of World Records for the world's largest kolachki, which happened to be baked and disseminated here at the festival. Wow. But getting back to Berwyn's heritage, Berwyn, Illinois is known for its Czech heritage. Now it's known as one of the most diverse suburbs in the Midwest. every nationality and every heritage you can imagine is right here in Berwyn, Illinois. I think we're all proud of that, right?
Oh my God! You know, it's a great town, and the Morton West is just growing in leaps and bounds. We took a tour of it. We do this thing, of course, called Vehicle for Education, and this year we have a young man named Fabian, who is the recipient. But the principal gave us a tour last year of the kitchen where you can learn to be a chef and a restaurateur, and they have a special facility for freshmen, and just an amazing school. It was amazing when we went there. It's even more amazing now.
Well, I think that you had brought your guitar for a reason, right? What do you have in mind?
Well, we thought we'd bring back a little of 1990 when we played just a few blocks over that way, and we attracted 30,000 people. And I'll tell you, we had prepared for that show. That was supposed to be a one-off show.
Yeah.
You know, when we got that call, do you want to play Berwyn Summerfaire? It's going to be a big deal. And we said, sure. And we hadn't played really much at all for a while. And so, you know, we set up the phonograph, and we were learning our own songs from the records. And for 3 months, we practiced for that day. And you know what? The people went crazy, and it was such a success that we never looked back. We just kept booking more shows. But this song always stands out, and it's one of our most requested songs, and we'd like to do it for you, Jim, dedicated to Jim Capsa and everyone in Berwyn and all the film crew and Fabian. This is LA Goodbye. Well, my wavelength gets a little longer every time I wave goodbye. Hi, hi. Sentimental breakdown. You know I break down and laugh. Hi, hi. Where I'm not supposed to lie my head. Always seem my softest pillow. And as I board my plane, something inside my brain hates to wave LA goodbye. LA goodbye. Bridge. LA goodbye. LA, I want to see you around sometime. LA, goodbye. LA, I want to be around sometime. LA, goodbye. This is where everybody sings along and claps their hands. La-da-da-da-ba-da-ba-da. Get warm. La-da-da-da-ba-da. La-da-da-da-ba-da-ba-da. Come on, Tom. La-da-da-da-ba-da. La-da-da-da-ba-da-ba-da. La-da-da-da-ba-da. La-da-da-da-ba-da-ba-da. La-da-da-da-ba-da. Sunset Strip, and I feel trip over to your hideaway. Hey, hey. Sunset Princess beckons, and we love the night away. Hey, hey. And now I feel like years away from the west side of Chicago. And as I board my plane, something inside my brain hates to wave LA goodbye. LA goodbye. Come on. LA goodbye. LA, I'm gonna see you around now. LA goodbye. Can't see the tear in my eye now. LA, I'm a coming home. Hello, Berwyn. LA goodbye. LA goodbye. LA goodbye. LA goodbye.
Hey! All right.
This is the site of the Berwyn Summerfaire Festival. Well, it's getting close to Summer Fair time. We're just prior to opening day, and we're speaking with Larry Zdarsky, who is the president of Summer Fair Incorporated. And I have asked Larry prior to this taping to get his thoughts together because we want to know exactly how this festival evolved. Have you gotten your thoughts together?
Well, it's not real hard to get our thoughts together about this one. This has been a labor of love for many of us in the community here in the city of Berwyn. Back in 1983, Mayor Lancelotti wanted to do something for Berwyn's 75th anniversary. And we kicked around a few ideas, and he came up with the concept of something that would showcase many of our local talent, local restaurants, and other vendors, and community pride and spirit. So we put together a Chicago Fest type of an approach in 1983. The city of Berwyn ran it that year, and we had 5 different stages. We used the big stadium for a main stage, and had many vendors and many special events, a parade. The Historical Society did historical tours throughout the city of Berwyn, and it turned out to be a wonderful event.
Some of the talent, as you mentioned, was really top-flight talent. Captain and Tennille, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, the Gatlin Brothers, Laura Branigan, and Buddy Rich, God rest his soul, Buddy Rich and his big band sound. So that one really was a whopper to kick off Summer Fair. Well, this year's festival, 1990, it gets back to featuring top-name entertainment that's nationally known. For instance, on the first day, we're going to have Rare Earth, which is a late 60s, early 70s rock group, and they're going to be followed by the Marshall Tucker Band. They've also been around since about 1969 or 1970. The third day features Tres Hombres. The fourth day features what the Summer Fair Board of Directors feels is going to be the biggest day, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the Ides of March 20-year reunion, and then on Sunday the main act is Grassroots, another internationally known group.
Well, what we try to do with the entertainment, you've mentioned, the main acts, and most of them, our acts have been around for a while, and we've looked at our demographics, and we find out that most of your festival goers are people probably in the 25 to 45 age bracket, and we like to, with our carnival and with our family day with free admission and the children's acts, we like to market this as a good family attraction, and it's that demographic age group that'll come out and spend the time and bring the family. And while the kids can be playing in the carnival rides, the adults can be listening to the music that they were listening to back when they were in high school and college.
Summer Fair 1990 in Berwyn is starting off with a bang with Windy City Wrestling, as you can see in the background. We've got 2 heavyweights knocking each other around the ring, and we're going to see some of this action. The fans are enjoying it. This is the first act of Summer Fair 1990.
Recording artist, please welcome and give a warm
have the headline act for the opening night of Summerfaire 1990 in Berwyn, Rare Earth. Here's the leader of Rare Earth, Gil Bridges. Why don't you introduce the rest of your group, Gil?
Okay, right here we have Ray Manette. He's the lead guitarist, vocalist. Eddie Guzman, our percussionist. Wayne Barracks, our lead vocalist, guitarist, and Randy, our bass guitarist over here.
Well, we're talking to them right after their performance, and I have to tell you that there were 3,000 or more people in the audience cheering like I've never heard an opening act cheered before. You fellas are terrific, and thanks for appearing at Berwyn Summerfaire.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. We hope you come back.
Oh, yeah, we will.
We're at the Wine Cellar booth at Summerfaire now on the Midway, and this is Mr. Udo Hartung, the proprietor of the Wine Cellar, and you're the chef here tonight too, right, Chief Cook?
Yeah, that's right. It's not my normal occupation, but it's fun to do this.
How was opening night yesterday?
Great. We're very happy. You know, a lot of people here, and everybody was very friendly, and our beers are very well received.
What are you selling besides beer tonight?
We're selling bratwurst. This is original veal bratwurst. This is my some of my family's recipes. We have them specially handmade here in Chicago for us. We serve them all the time in the Wine Cellar, and we also serve Kassler Rippchen, which is a pork chop. It's already smoked, and you just grill it, and it comes out perfect that way.
Well, it smells delicious, I can tell you that, and I think I'm going to have one. We're going to talk to some people at Michael Anthony's booth, and first of all, we've got Bob Slavowski and Hank Weiss, and Bob, introduce everybody else.
Okay, this is Nicole, Terry, one of the owners, his daughter. Our helpers down there, that's Joan, and I'm sorry, I don't know. Rita. Lisa.
Tina.
And our balloon.
Tina? Hi. Blowing up the balloons, right?
Yeah.
And what's your name?
Doug.
Doug. How many balloons have you given away so far?
About 1,500.
1,500? Wow. And you're selling, Bob, what are you selling here at Michael Anthony's?
We have our stuffed pizzas, and we have our thin pizza with cheese and sausage and popcorn and our soda.
Terry, how's business so far?
Oh, everything's going real good.
This looks like a good booth to go into. Let's go and see what they're making back here at the Giovanni's booth. I think I see the head chef back here. Let's go and talk to Tom Ferguson, who is the head chef for Giovanni's. Mr. Ferguson.
Jim, how are you?
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in your booth.
I'm working tonight because my cook didn't show up.
He's the best cook anyway. Tell us about what you're making.
Well, we're serving barbecue ribs, barbecue pork chop sandwiches, and pizza by the slice, cheese or cheese and sausage.
Very good. And you're more or less a coordinator of all the restaurants here, are you not?
Right. I'm on the board of directors of Summerfaire, and we help put together the restaurants for the event.
And do you try to keep the restaurants from competing with one another as far as product goes?
Yeah, we only allow two different products sold by two different restaurants. So in other words, we limit the menu items to two of the same items between all 20 restaurants. That way there's a good variety of food and mix, and you don't come out and have all pizza stands or all lemonade stands.
And this is the second night. What did you think of opening night last night?
It was fantastic. I think this is the biggest picnic in the western suburbs this weekend. This is great.
we've cornered one of the other members of the Summerfaire Board of Directors, Bob Kirkab. Bob, tell us your title and what you do for and with Summerfaire.
My position is in Summerfaire is that of treasurer, preparing budgets, making sure that people abide by them.
And I noticed you were walking around yesterday, opening night, with a smile on your face. Why was that?
We had an extremely good night for a Wednesday night. We exceeded our expectations by about 60%. That's the reason for the smile.
That's what I thought. See, I knew the answer to that question before I asked it. And this handsome young man in the center is Ginger of the. Tell us all about who you're with and what you do.
I'm with J. Kipton Productions. We supply the staging, lights, and sound for both the main stage and the cabaret stage here at Summerfaire. We've been here. This is our 4th season.
Any special problems that you've encountered?
This is probably the easiest festival that I do out of 30 festivals summer. This is our favorite for our company because there's great people to work with like Bob, Randy, Larry, great people to work with. They always book good groups. It's a smooth festival. We always have a great time.
How could you miss? That's what they told me. There you go, kid. We're backstage with Doug Gray of the Marshall Tucker Band, and they're going to have a terrific show tonight because there's about 4,000 or 5,000 fans out in front. What do you think of Berwyn Summerfaire so far, Doug?
Oh, it's been great. We had a good time so far. I got here about an hour ago and wanted to walk around, and it's put on just as good or better than any of the places that we've played for. We're excited. Seems like you got better crowd control here than most of the other places.
I'm glad to hear it.
Well, which makes us feel a lot better because we never usually have a rowdy crowd, but there's always some, you know. But everybody here seems to be having a good time. They're eating and drinking, and you know, you got all kind of ages here, and that's our kind of crowd.
I would say that you play country rock. Is that how you would describe it?
Well, the radio stations for the last 20 years hadn't been able to put a label on it. We just play all American good rock and roll music.
You got that right, Doug. Thanks for being here at Berwyn Summerfaire.
Thank you.
Would you please welcome from Spartanburg, South Carolina, the sophomore recording artist, the Marshall Tucker Band.
This is the third day of the Summerfaire Festival, and you've just seen a little of the action taking place in the carnival. This was a very special day because the Spectacular Amusement Company, in cooperation with Summerfaire Incorporated, has allowed children that are a little disadvantaged to take advantage of the carnival in free rides. And we have Bernie Mallins in charge of the carnival and Shelby Sulin, who is the Summerfaire coordinator. Bernie, tell us a little bit about this program.
Well, carnival people like to give something back to the communities that we play in. Our way of doing this is working with the handicapped, and we try to have a day at every event that we do where the underprivileged and the handicapped have the opportunity to come out and take advantage of our rides. So to us, it's a gift of God. We like to give something back.
I think that's terrific. Shelby, these children are from where?
They're from the Seguin School in Berwyn, from the West Suburban Special Recreation Services, and from the Berwyn Stars Special Olympics.
Can we get a couple of the children in here and talk to them, ask them how they enjoyed it?
Let's see.
You want to come in and talk to us? What's your name?
John.
How'd you like that ride?
It was okay.
Just okay?
Yeah.
Did it give you butterflies in the stomach?
Yeah.
Okay, see if can you get one of your friends to come here? Can we talk to you? How'd you like the ride? Good. Did you get butterflies in your stomach? Yeah? Are you going to go on another ride pretty soon? Okay. Well, you want to thank Mr. Mellons for giving this ride to all the kids?
Okay, young man.
There you go.
Thank you for coming.
Well, we're sitting in Frank Gariffo's cart. This is his personal cart, and he's the site chairman, so he's got to be all over the place. Frank, tell us about your job as site chairman.
Well, the site is responsible for everything physical, the tents, the chairs, the location of the carnival, the location of the staging. We supply water, electricity, we're in charge of security, everything is on site. We plan this, we start out in October until the event presents itself. If you're wondering about my hat,
I was wondering about the one feather. What does that
well, I don't know what the one feather represents. I found it here on site, and because I wear my pith hat, they decided to call me Buana, so they call me Buana Buana. Buana Buana welcomes you to Summerfaire.
Well, now we're talking with three more members of the Summerfaire Board of Directors, Mary DeSanto, Joanne Zendel, and Diane Kasmar. And let's find out what they're doing at this particular booth, which is a state photo and ID booth. Mary, what are you doing here?
Well, we're checking to make sure that we've got all our tickets for beer. We sell our beer tickets here, which they go to the other booth to collect their beer. And we also are selling these beautiful souvenir cups with Summerfaire on them. And they're only $2, so it's quite
That's a bargain and a half.
That's a buy.
Joanne Zendel, what are you up to back there?
Here, hi Jim. Well, right now we're just taking inventory and making sure our cashiers are set, that they have their tickets ready and their ledgers starting and beginning numbers. And
Diane, you're checking in the tickets, are you?
Checking in the tickets and stocking the booths, and we're going to make sure we tell our cashiers that they have to see a number 21 on their hand. They have to have their ID checked right at the table next to us, and then they can come and purchase the beer tickets.
Okay, now we're sitting in the cart of Berwyn's police chief, Frank Kravchik, who of course is in charge of all the police and auxiliary police here at Summerfaire. He's going to introduce us to one of his police personnel and tell us what he does around the fair site. Frank?
This is one of our female officers on the grounds. Denise Birdsell does a fine job. Our job basically out here is to keep peace and harmony. It's a family affair, and certainly that's the way we want to keep the grounds this evening and any evening that we're here. We have quite a few security people out here, so it does deter a lot of the violence.
Denise, what's your job tonight?
I'm positioned in the carnival, and I just make sure nobody gets hurt.
In other words, you're a roving officer?
Yes, I'm roving.
Okay. But Frank, you do have officers stationed at certain positions, right?
Yes, we have quite a few officers, and they each have a particular station to stay at, and beer booths, and of course the carnival and the kiddie rides and the stage area and the gates and what have you. They know their positions. They've been out there quite a few times.
And of course, all the officers are in contact with your command post here by radio?
By radio. Everybody has a radio too. And we get a lot of lost children and lost parents and
lost parents too.
And we unite the kiddies with mommy and daddy.
Well, very good. Keep up the good work. There's a fine security detail in force here at Summerfaire.
All right, thank you very much, Jim.
And direct from Gopher Old Texas, let's welcome Trey Sawgrave.
This is the world's largest kolach and the world's largest kolachki. Normally, a kolach is about 9 inches in diameter. This one, we haven't measured it yet, but to me it looks like it's, what, about 4 feet? At least 4 feet in diameter, probably a little larger. And those two kolachki over there are about 2 feet in diameter. They look a little slightly larger than that too, but before we're through, we're going to be cutting them up and giving them away, but we're going to measure them first, and we're going to get an entry into the Guinness Book of World Records for Berwyn Summerfaire. Now, just so you can compare, by the way, here's the baker, Jim Vesicki and his son Dave Vesicki. They bake this. They hand for the Vesickies. And this is the regular size of a kolachki, about 2 inches in diameter. So you can see they did their work last night, right? You can take the first slice.
Good, try it. Just get me off the camera, try it, please.
What's it taste like, guys? Look up here. What's it taste like?
Right? Just like Mom? Better than Mom's because Mom doesn't make them.
For the world record, we have to know how it tastes.
I'll try one here. Hold on.
Here we go. He's going to sample it.
I'll sample it. Good.
How's the taste, okay? How's the taste, okay?
Yeah. I'm good. Wow. Yeah. We're sitting in the Morton West Football Stadium grandstands with the Ides of March, the headline act, Day 4, Summerfaire 1990. And this is quite a reunion because in 1973, the last time the Ides of March sang together, it was about 200 yards east of here in the Morton West Fieldhouse, and I'm going to introduce these fellas. First of all, Jim Peterick. Jim, how do you feel about this reunion?
Very excited. We're ready to go. Ready to rock.
Chuck Somar, what's your batting average?
Well, right now I'm in a slump. I'm 265, but I got a hot glove. The hands are soft. I'm doing okay.
Good field, no hit as always, right?
That's right. I can stick around as a utility infielder for a long time. So that's
good. And this young man here, I don't think you're a member of the Ides, are you, Chris?
Yes, I am.
You are a member. Okay. What's your name, Chris?
Christopher Glenn.
That's your dad, right?
Yes.
All right.
Correct.
And we have back of me, I hope I'm not blocking you out here.
Oh no, I'm Mike Borch.
Mike, how do you feel about this? 17 years after.
Yeah, all these people are making me feel pretty old, but I think with this group we're feeling pretty young tonight. We'll have a good show tonight.
Bob Berglund, what about you? What are your thoughts?
It's great to come back, and it's good for our friends, but it's even better for us. We're really enjoying it.
I guess you fellas are going to stick together for a while now, right?
We hope to. We all went into this saying we'll do one date, and after the blood, sweat, and tears of a few rehearsals, we thought we should do a few more.
wrong band, Bob.
Oh,
we're not the blood, sweat, and tears. We're the Ides of March.
Sorry, see you guys later. Who's this handsome guy back at Chuck Somar?
John Larson.
Where? John, give us your thoughts.
Well, we kind of feel that this year was a good year to come back because we're kind of like cicadas. Every 17 years we come on. But we're going to try and stick around longer than the cicadas. Yeah.
Okay, last but certainly not least, Larry Millis.
Yes, I'm very glad we're doing this. This has been so much fun, and I haven't seen these guys in at least a week, so I'm loving it.
Now tell us the truth about your first rehearsals. When you started to rehearse for this reunion concert.
It sounded like the last concert.
Ah, yeah, right.
No, there were moments of embarrassment, but at the same time, though, there were moments where it sounded great. I mean, it was like magic, and then it was real crummy.
You want the real dirt? The real dirt.
We couldn't remember the chords, the words, nothing.
You got it down on tape here, but we're going to get part of your act tonight, so we're gonna see how much you fellas have improved. Chuck, what do you got to say about that?
Well, I just enjoy not only playing the music, playing the old songs, but just being with these guys around me again. I mean, when we were in the Ides of March, I was 17 years old. I was a senior here at Morton West High School when Vehicle came out. So I was the kid in the band. These were all my older brothers, and I'm just happy to be back with family and my older brothers again.
Are they that much older than you?
Well, no, not that much. No, it's not that they're that much older. I'm that much younger than they are. That's the thing.
For those uninformed, we've got some youngsters out there that have never heard of some of your songs. That's hard for me to believe because Vehicle is playing on the radio right now. What are some of those songs those number one songs from the 69, 70, 71?
Well, it started in '66 with You Wouldn't Listen, which was our first hit. And then Vehicle was the next one, and LA Goodbye was the next major hit.
And what about this song that you wrote for, it's called Eye of the Tiger, for Rocky III, right?
Oh, yeah, I remember something about that. Yeah, that was a big one. Not with these guys, but with the band I've been with for 10 years, Survivor. But it's really fun stepping up with a guitar, which I didn't do in Survivor. I was on keyboards, and I did not sing lead with Survivor. And in this band, I get to do all that fun stuff, so it's great.
I believe one of the other members, Larry, is it you that's got a hit song with that's on the charts with the Imperials?
Well, in fact, I do. I had an opportunity to record with a gospel Christian band called the Imperials. They've been around forever. So we worked down in Nashville and also in Chicago here, and right now it's number one on the charts.
Outstanding. Well, we've got another surprise for you, Ides of March. We have Mayor Joseph J. Lanzalotti of Berwyn here, and he's got a proclamation that he wants to present to you. Mr. Mayor, we'd like you to come in here.
Jimmy, I have a proclamation here for the Ides of March, which in essence has indicated that today we've declared Saturday the Ides of March Day in the city of Berwyn. And on behalf of our city and everyone in it, all our business people and our residential people, we're certainly proud of this occasion. And I personally am proud to know that gentlemen of stature have come back to our good city with their presence. And as far as we're concerned, we're looking forward to your performance this evening. And we know it's going to be as excellent as those in the past. And again, we're very, very proud of your accomplishments, and we hope that it goes on for a long, long time. So I'd like to present This proclamation, I'll give it to Mr. Peterick, but we do have one for each of the members that we'll present to them. So good luck to all of you.
Thanks so much.
We want to get Larry Zdarsky in on this too. Larry, come on up here. President of Berwyn Summerfaire, 1990. Lawrence Zdarsky, you have a few words to say for these people, don't you?
We're excited. We're excited. I mean, it's. I'm just so happy. I mean, Chuck was in the concert band, and I was in the concert band. He was a senior. We looked up to these guys, and I remember their farewell concert. And we've been doing Summerfaire for 8 years, and there's not been a band that we've had here, and that we're so excited about to have.
I'd like to end this interview, and this is a little surprise, with how something like a da-da-da-da-da. You think that's possible? All right. On a one, okay, go ahead.
I'll give you two. 1, 2.
Da-da-da-da-da. Thank you. You still feeling all right out there? I hear you say, woo! We want to thank you for putting us in the driver's seat today. We hope you had a good ride, and this is the vehicle that got us here today. Inside my car, I think that baby, I'm a local man. Take it to the nearest star. I don't feel no baby. I think it's anywhere you wanna go. I don't feel no woman. I'm sure you know that I love ya, I need ya. I want you to have a job. Wait God in heaven and know I know. Inside my car, got me, say I'm a local man. Take to the nearest star. I don't need a baby. See you anywhere you wanna go. I don't need a woman. And I'm sure you know that I love you, I need you. I just got to have a job. Wait God in heaven and know I know. Oh, and I don't feel so bad. huh? It's like they never left. Like they've been with us for the past 17 years.
We're backstage right before the Grassroots concert on the final day of Summerfaire 1990. We're talking with the lead singer, Rob Grill of Grassroots.
You got it, Rob Grill, there you go.
We're happy to have you with us.
Great to be here. We enjoy coming into the Chicago area doing these festivals. I think it's our first time in Berwyn, so we're really looking forward to a good show.
You know, you got a good following around here. Quickly rattle off for us some of your big hits from way back.
From way back, well, let's see. There's Live for Today, Midnight Confessions, Temptation Eyes, Sooner or Later. Oh, I could go on and on all night, but you know, I don't want to blow the whole show. But
now, this is part of a national tour for you, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, the next weekend we have off is at the end of October, so we're
well, that's great.
We're booked solid.
Okay. What do you think of Summerfaire so far? Have you gotten to see any of it?
I tell you what, there's a lot of great people out there and a lot of great food, and everybody's sitting in the seats ready for the show, so that gets me going. I'm up for it. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to a great performance by the Grassroots as a nice climax to Summerfaire 1990. Rob Grill, thanks a lot for being with us.
Thanks for having us. We're really glad to be here.
And we love you too. Confession when I tell the world that I love you. My confession when I say the things that I want to do.
We're talking with Mayor Joseph J. Lanzelotti of Berwyn, and I guess you'd like to see it continue.
It was a fantastic 5 days in the city of Berwyn. The city went all out, and it proved to be fantastic PR for our community, for these entertainers to come from all over the country, from Florida to California. And not only that, but people came from all over this country to our summer fair. And God knows that Summer Fair, the not-for-profit corporation, has a fantastic group of people working for it at this point. In fact, it's worked at all year long. Summer Fair, the day that Summer Fair ends, the day the new Summer Fair starts, and they have meetings at least once every 2 weeks. And this is throughout the year, and so they are a lot of hard-working people that deserve a great deal of credit. So between these good people and the good sponsors and the fact that we've been able to sustain it is miraculous.
We'd like to do a song. We didn't realize it was going to be so topical this week after the events of Wednesday night, but we were proud and honored to do this next number last Tuesday night at Comiskey Park for a White Sox game, and we'd like to share with you, and I think you know the song.
Still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the She's a mainland, she's an island, she's a lowland, yes,